Let me be absolutely clear. I support the development of WA's first children's hospital and compassionate care that it will provide families. Nothing in this disallowance seeks to delay or prevent the hospice from being built. What is at stake here is the principle of protecting our most valued public open spaces. Class A reserves were created to ensure that treasured community land is preserved for all people for all time. Allen Park is a regionally significant park heavily used by local, civilian and service, the wider community and interstate and overseas visitors. Allen Park represents the life's work of John Allen. His vision was to create an asset for the community that would be enjoyed for generations to come. Allen Park today reflects this vision and includes playgrounds, ovals, sporting clubs, a heritage precinct. The trails through the bushland are heavily used and include the nationally significant Bush to Beach Wadjuk Trail. The Bush to Beach Trail is popular with both state and international visitors and tourists. Bird life includes several species of owls, black cockatoos, carnaby and redtail, wrens, button quails and a host of small birds. There are also migratory birds, such as the spectacular burrowing rainbow bee-eaters. Much of the area where these birds have recently nested is now unavailable due to the hospice construction. However, last summer, 2 pairs nested in the area that is the subject of the park excision. Those 2 pairs put on a wonderful aerial display, which many people came specifically to watch. Quenda have recently made a cautious return, which is an encouraging step in increasing the resilience of the bushland in a changing climate. The area hosts threatened ecological communities, including Tuart and Rottnest Island cypress, and it is a food source for the critically endangered Carnaby cockatoos. It is an important part of the essential biodiversity corridor linking Kings Park to the coast. It has a rich variety of plant and wildlife. Being a local councillor with the City of Swan before getting elected into State Parliament, I understand from a local level the community frustration when planning decisions are made and significant classifications of land and their importance is underestimated and so easily disregarded to allow a removal of critical classification Class A. At a state level, why do we need to compromise on this and remove the Allen Park classification from its A status? Many examples of collaborative development of parkland and playgrounds exist, most notably in Kings Park, Rio Tinto and the Synergy development. These collaborators, which include large private companies and donors, have not needed to remove the Class A reserves status to provide enhanced public parklands for the people in WA. So why is Allen Park? This area is a well-used thoroughfare, providing a vital linkage between Allen Park and the coast. It is used purely for the purpose of traversing Allen Park from east to the coast. The land in Allen Park subject to the excision proposal was classified Class A 124 years ago, just a year after Kings Park, and it's part of the Allen Park Master Plan. The thoroughfare does not require any infrastructure apart from the planned All Abilities Path, non-Biddy Trail, and low-level open grassland type landscaping, which Council has already resolved to complete. The area is in a designated bushfire zone and as such cannot be planted with canopy trees or extensive vegetation. It has been maintained by the City of Nedlands as a fire break in compliance with fire regulations. There are already covered shade trees, tree canopy and playgrounds within the park on both the eastern and western ends of this walkway. On the east side of the park, Kirkwood Street side, there's a well-maintained City of Nedlands fenced playground, many large shade trees and open grassed areas along with drink fountains and toilets. On the western side, in front of the Shore House Restaurant and Swanbourne Surf Lifesaving Club, there's another playground, shade provided by structures and trees, along with toilets, water fountains, grassed areas and covered barbecue stations. Why do we need to compromise on this and remove the classification from its A status? The 6,000 square metres already excised from the Class A reserves for the hospice, in addition to the WA Bridge Club development, means that the 3,000 square metres of Class A reserve between the WA Bridge Club and the Hospice, the park excision, is the last remaining protected Class A reserve available to strengthen the ecological linkages to Bush Forever Site 315 on the coast and to connect the Wadjuk Bush to beach and other public walk trails. The public car park makes an ideal place for the planned all-access path. The future management order does not give the same level of protection as Class A. Why do the land protections need to be lifted? It has been said publicly that the latest excision is necessary because the land looks neglected. Many argue that the current construction is the main reason this area looks neglected. However, putting that aside, the answer to a neglected but protected reserve is to make it less neglected. Rewilding the area, make it less neglected, not less protected. Rewilding the area whilst maintaining the required low vegetation would strengthen the Class A protection for what it was intended by the life's work of John Allen. This land does not belong to the previous council or administration of the City of Nedlands. It's part of the protected public estate, a precious, finite community asset held in trust for future generations. Class A reserves are especially important as we infill with development, and we have a responsibility in keeping the protections where we can. The appointment of commissioners at the City of Nedlands opens the opportunity to reconsider the excision. Supporting investment in the area whilst keeping the protections of Class A reserve would help repair relationships and create something truly special. The local community believe that most people would welcome investment in this area if it keeps the protections of Class A reserve, helps strengthen the ecological linkage and stays open to everyone. An achievable solution. There is no need here to excise park to create the Children's Hospice Park. It is achievable to build the garden and leave the protections in place. The Urban Bushland Council is the peak body for the many bushland volunteer groups that work across Perth to maintain urban bushland and provides advice and expertise to the various groups, to their councils and land managers. They fully support the Class A protection remain in place for Allen Park. For over 12 months, Friends of Allen Park has been pursuing the release of documents relating to the ownership, management and funding of the state's first hospice facility for children. An undisclosed third party has been blocking the sharing of these documents until they were finally released by the Health Department on Friday, the 29th of August 2025. Capital funding for the 3-storey, 7-bed facility with 3 family suites in a unique coastal location in Swanbourne has been provided in part by public donations to a private charity, with a significant portion of capital funding coming from the public funds, state and federal. Under the project agreement, the land for the facility, which was excised by the government from protected Class A Crown reserves in 2020, will be leased to its private partner, Perth Children Hospice Foundation, PCHFH, for up to 40 years. The building will be solely owned by the Perth Children Hospice Foundation, PCHFH, which is responsible for procuring the design, construction and fit-out. As owner of the building, Perth Children Hospice Foundation will sublease the land and building to the Child Adolescent Health Services, CAHS or CARS, operating the sublease for use as a children's hospice, but only for 15 years with no option to renew. Until receipt of these documents under the Freedom of Information, the details of the lease arrangement were unknown. The people of Western Australia have rightly believed that the hospice would be a forever facility with a long and well-planned future facilitated by the support of CAHS, CAS, for many decades. However, the documents now received suggest that this will not be the case for decades to come. The operating sublease under which CAS provides funding and management for the hospice will in fact terminate after 15 years, and CAS involvement with the hospice may cease at that point. The community is concerned with the uncertainty surrounding the future lease terms. The Honourable Neil Thompson has taken to referring to Burswood as Reader's Racetrack. His work began here due to overwhelming, immense community opposition. His work to date is commendable, and I support his efforts as we rightly represent the views of the community. Why is this issue protecting Class A reserve of Allen Park in support of the community any different? I fully support the park, but the community remains dissatisfied with the government's response to newly revealed documents and the weak justification given for removing its vital land protections. This land holds immense environmental and cultural value, and its protection should never be compromised for administration convenience. We owe it to the family, the community, the intention behind the legacy of John Allen. It is simply easier to leave the classification Class A in place.
Yeah.
Thank you.